Hello friends of the channel. On this occasion I bring you this small crochet bag for this season. It comes very good when we don't want to carry a lot of weight, but rather carry a couple of little things in the bag, such as some tissues, a pocket, the keys and our cell phone and little more. I put these wooden handles on it. I have chosen the circular shape, but there are many shapes that you can put it in. Nothing. If you want to see how I have done it and see the step by step and you have a little time, then stay with me. I will show you until now. The materials we are going to use for our bag are very simple. Simply a thread, in this case with wool acrylic blending. Melissa from Her Sweet Line, the bag I showed you in the intro. I made it with the same wool exactly in the color Fina 68. The manufacturer recommends number 3, but I have worked entirely with the 3.5 pin and nothing. I think it is appropriate to make this point. It fits very well. It fits just right. It doesn't fit too long or too tight. Why I really liked it, to be honest. Right now I wanted to make a small variation and I took this thread from the same line. The color is soap 16 and instead of the wooden rings as handles, I am going to use this bamboo. These rings are 12 centimeters in diameter. I think that for the size of the bag it is enough, because even very large it would be a little unbalanced, and then 12 centimeters exactly, more or less the same as the wooden ones measure. In the previous case I used them made of wood, but now for a change I'm going to make them with bamboo rings. Well, nothing, just this. And I've also hung this wooden dream catcher as a motif. I got all this at the bazaar. As you know that I have a bazaar nearby and I get many things. Here you can really hang whatever you want, a teddy bear, any doll you like, some flowers. I leave that to your imagination. The truth is that I saw this wooden dream catcher and I really liked it. And I even came with several in the package, and I bought this, comes with its rope. So I'm going to take advantage of it and I'm going to put the exact same dream catcher in the other bag. I played with the colors, with the color combination, and I think that this tone goes very well with this bamboo and nothing more. Let's start with the bag. We started by making a normal girl, just like the ones we use to start a job and make a chain. And simply what we are going to do is hugging our girl, and we are going to surround it, make 40 stitches on the girl's envelope so that our handle is trapped in the fabric. We start like this. This is a little difficult. We started like this. We make our first stitch to fix the lanilla, and we continue making 40 stitches. We take it underneath as if we were making a really low point, but catching the ring in the middle. This way we're settling in, okay? Finally, we completed the hoop step by step, surrounding the entire ring, as shown in the earlier images. Notice that when choosing the bamboo in the knots, it is a little more difficult, but it doesn't matter. It looks very good. It is part of the style of the bag. And what I have done is, once I have finished the 40 stitches surrounding our hoop, it has been to do a low point round. To ensure all this we have here, since it is more fixed and that we can work on this round, we are going to work poles. And at first the truth is that it costs a little because our point is quite attached to the hoop, but you have to have a little patience, at least in the first round, and the following are very simple. Well, nothing what we are going to do to start doing our motif, and I am going to make 2 rods, chain and 2 rods. What I do is to start our first stick, and I like to do it instead of making 2 chains like many do. I like to do low, one on top of the other, pricking at the same starting point. I make a low and fair point. I nail our needle in the center, and I make another low point, and our rod is fuller at the beginning. It does not look very different from the rest. It is more even. So since I have assembled 40 points, more or less I have calculated, and I am going to do it. On the edges, 3 rods or 3 high points. To begin, below we will make chain. We jump down here on our line made of low point, and we click on the third, and we make 2 sticks, 2 chains again. We jump 1, 2, at the third point we punch and make 2 rods, and we continue like this until the end of the lap. Well, our second round, we start again with our rod made with low, as we did previously. We'll make 2 sticks here. Two chains, and in the next hole we will make 3 rods. So what we will do is to increase our back little by little, giving it a little bit of expansion. So 2 chains, and here we make 3 high points or 3 sticks. So that our back has a little more flight. So 2 chains, and we do all the time in this entire row exactly the same, and 3 high points, 2 chains. Well, I continue to the end of the lap, and we return on our third pole lap. We will repeat the same motif. We will make 3 rods chain, and in the space 3 rods. To begin with, it's like here we just have a space, so that we don't have a single rod left here, and what is the edge is very weak. What I am going to do is make these 2 rods on top, just 2 other rods, and 3 rods in the middle. That is, I will make 5 rods. In total, we will make 5 rods, and I will start chain 3 rods, chain 3 rods, so that our edge has more consistency, because since the hole is just the gap, here we would have to make a rod for the beginning, and our edge would be very thin, very fragile, with which we will begin as we did in the previous rounds. We will make the rods with low, one over another, so on the other rod we will make another rod. And in our hole in our space, we will make 3 rods. This is how I have done it, agree? If maybe someone has another idea, this is how I am doing it, so that the edge is more reinforced and not thinner. Let's do it. The minimum I am putting are 2 rods less than 2 rods. Well, I don't like it. I prefer to do it that way. Then 2 chains. We will make 3 rods and 2 chains and continue doing it until the end of the turn exactly the same. You are already taking a little of the width of the back with these increases. If you look, how does it look? How is it widening a little so that it doesn't stay so straight and so narrow? And come on, we will do the next round exactly the same, making the spaces 3 rods. And along with chain 3 rods in what is the next round. And the next rounds, I'll tell you how we're going to do it, okay? Until now, well, weavers, I was going to show you a video where you could see how I began to make the varetas, following the reason I had told them that I was going to teach them how to do it. But the video in which I recorded it was damaged, so I will tell them and explain them here so that you can see that it is very, very simple. Well, then that's the reason. Where are the magnifying rods? Remember I was making 2 chains, 3 sticks. Well, nothing once I finished that last round, as you can see the 3rd round doing the increases. And the 4th of rods with the good reason, because we would start by making a rod on each stitch. Remember that where is the little hole that we made 3 there? No. We will not make 3 now. We will make 2. We will no longer continue increasing simply on top of each chain. It will be a rod as it is presented. That is a rod on each stitch that we knit and nothing. We will continue like this. Well, 20 rows. What will be the 20 rows next to our motif? Kisses. Well, we're done with our pole laps. We have done 20 rounds of stick stitch or high stitch. And once we have finished this part, we will do exactly the same with the other ring. We'll make our turn. Well, we'll learn our ring first, then we'll do a low point lap, then we'll start with rods and chains. We'll make 2 rods, 2 chains, 2 rods, 2 chains. Notice that here at the beginning I put 3. The idea is not to mount it, just puts only 1 rod on the edge so that we never have a rod left, so that it is a little firmer. But hey, in my case, I mounted 3 rods, 2 chains, 2 rods, and to continue continuously 2 rods, 2 chains until the end that I mounted here, the same as the beginning, 3 high points or 3 rods. And in the following laps is where we will do the increases so that this amplitude remains and we are left a little rounder and wider. What I have done is 3 where there were, I make 3 rods from chain, 2 chains, 3 rods, 2 mas, 3 rods, and so I do 3 turns. In this way, making 3 high points or 3 rods where the 2 chains are. Okay, once we have reached this 3rd round, making the increases, well, what we will do is we will make a stick at each point. Notice that where they are, we won't make chains. 3 rods, but 2 rods, exactly what there is. And that is, we will not make any more increases. We will do 1 point for each one, rod for each point, and we will continue to do 20 turns, all rod done rod. When we finish this side, we will do the other girl the same, and I have her done exactly the same. And we'll pick the part we like for the low. I like it here where this finish is. This way, maybe they like this side better, but I like this side better. So what we will do is confront the rights. This would be right with exact right. And this is the part that I have chosen to be the reverse. And what we will do is sew this entire contour. You can do it in several ways. I have sewn from here where we began to make everything with rods so that I have enough room left to take out and put things in the back from here more or less to here. And I have done it by making a slip stitch or flat stitch. I've put the thread on here. You'll see how I do it. I put the thread here and I'm taking both sides in this way and I'm making a flat stitch, taking both parts and I'm closing it, and it looks very good on the right. It's very well finished. If you want to do it with a needle, honey with thread can also be made. There are many ways to attach it. I have chosen this one because I think it is very well finished by the right end. And I really like it. Look how the other one turned out for me. Look how good it turned out right now on the other side. You can't see it because I already have the lining on it, it's true, but look at how it looks on the right. It looks quite good. I like at least how it looks down here. It's very well finished. It seems that there was a beret from here, and so I like this way of joining it. If you want to join it the other way, then it also looks good, but I put it together. Have I chosen this way? Well, nothing. Once we put it together, we'll turn it over. And with a fabric, I have got this fabric in the bazaar. Simply look for a fabric most similar to the color we have chosen for the yarn bag. I think this one looks quite good. And you can be a little thicker, a little thinner. There is nothing wrong with choosing it in different thicknesses. But if it is true that they should choose it, no, it should not be elastic. It should not have elastar. It should not have silk, because the idea is to line the bag. It should remain a little firmer and not as much. For example, I have put a fabric in this one because I already had it from other projects. It is a little thicker, but no, it is not elastic either. It is firm. Well, the idea is to put the bag here on top of the fabric and mark the contour of the bag. And what we do is put the double fabric to do it. For example, here's the double fabric. Well, we do this, we will use this United Grid in the background. So that we don't have to join it everywhere, we'll put it just flush. Here we will mark the entire edge. We will cut just along the edge if we want, because we are going to sew it a little deeper, because if it is not going to be folded, if we make it the same size, when we put it inside the bag, it will be folded. It won't fit well. So we cut it flush here. And we will sew the other bag a little deeper inside. I sewed it by hand. I have a machine, but I wanted to cook it by hand, and it turned out very well. As you can see, the seams, it looks perfect. It can be sewn perfectly by hand. And well, I felt like it and I made it by hand, but if you have a machine, you can also have it made by machine, okay? I'm going to sew it by hand so that you can see that it can also be made by hand, or that you don't have a machine. And so you do it anyway. Well, nothing. I'll stay sewing the bag together and then I'll cook it. I'll also cut the lining and cook it, and now I'll come back. Well, in the end, I started making it a little more open. Not at the beginning where we start with the rods, but at the beginning of the third row of rods. That is not here, not here, nor here. We turn on our water. It is taking the two little bowls on both sides, and we make a small bowl at the beginning. We will pass it through the two layers. Well, once we have made the lining, we put it in our bag. We are adjusting it with a lot of patience, because at first it costs a little, but keep in mind that the right part has to be inside. That is, our lining right in, okay? And the part would remain, well, reverse with reverse, placed on top of the one in the back. Well, simply with small stitches, the smallest we can, we attach it to our back. Try to get the corners of the lining and the back to match and nothing. We continue to put it together, and I'll come back with the last part of the back and show you a little of the results so far. Well, we've already reached the end of our back. Look how nice it turned out. I have put it just like the one in the other that I made in the previous one. I have put this wooden catch on it. You can really hang whatever you want on it. If you want a now, you take a lot of stuffed animals, a small stuffed animal, a teddy bear or a doll, a flower, whatever you want. That's really comfortable. Well, notice that I have made one in a cold tone and another in a warm tone, which makes it easy to combine with the outfits you have. If you dress in a cold or warm tone one day, you can combine it with your wardrobe and you have two options. Well, just show them how the lining turned out. Remember, I did it by hand. So you can see that it can be made perfectly by hand by people who do not have a sewing machine. It looks very good, very well finished. I have sewn it with hidden stitches, that is very small stitches, so that it is as finished as possible. Around here, through the part of the fabric, you can't see absolutely anything. Try to get a thread as close as possible to the thread you choose right here on the curve. What I have done is that I have cut it, because being on a curve, and this fabric is not elastic. As we had said, we chose a fabric that is not elastic, because we want the back to have a little support and not hang too much. Don't give in too much when putting things inside. Well, nothing. Since it is a flat fabric, as someone says, without elasticity, you have to make some cuts, because we have sewn a curve here. We have to make some cuts to the fabric so that it fits better and we can cook it better. Nothing. Here I have simply given a little stitch in this corner and another little stitch here, so that the lining is not loose, and when we take out and put things in, we do not have it loose. And as you can see, it is very simple to do. It's just a little bit of pampering, a little bit of patience. It simply is that it is with rods only used stitch, that use the stitch under the rods, and then to join the two parts a sliding stitch or flat stitch. I have only used that type of stitch. There are no other complications, and simply the lining that maybe scares them a little. This is my second time wearing a lining. The first time was in my other video I have of the multicolor back, and this is the second lining I put on, and I really like the fabric. Any fabric you have, try to take advantage of the fabrics you have left over from other projects or any netting you have at home. If not, then in your haberdashery they will surely cut you a piece of fabric. Try to make it the color of the thread back, so that it is as finished as possible, as beautiful as possible, and nothing with very few materials. We have made these very, very beautiful bags now facing summer, very light, for when we want to go maybe a little more dressed up with a dress, and we simply want to carry our cell phone or a little packet of tissues, a wallet, some keys, And carrying weight is a concern, so let's focus on the back design. The bamboo version is exceptionally lightweight yet stylish, blending wood elements effortlessly. Beyond bamboo, alternative options are worth exploring. Circular comes with a flat part here can also be used. I leave that to you and nothing. The materials, I will try to leave the materials in the description box. All the materials that I get that are most similar to these materials that I have used, I will try to leave them in the description box.
With that, I bid farewell to everyone, sending all my love, a warm kiss, a tender hug, and wishing you goodbye till we meet again.